responsible with.
Good morning and welcome to CIG TV live update for Hurricane Beryl. I'm Jevi Ebanks. I'm joined here in the studio with Troy Worms, who is the cluster manager for the infrastructure cluster of the National Emergency Operations Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jevi.
Tell us a little bit about what are the agencies that make up part of the cluster for the infrastructure cluster.
For the agencies that make up the infrastructure cluster is the Public Works Department, National Roads Authority, DEH, Department of Environment, the OFREG itself. We also are made up with CUC. In respect to CUC, there's also the telcos as well as the utilities such as Water Authority. Those are the utilities that generally make up that cluster, and we report upon those.
And tell me some of the activities that the cluster coordinates throughout national emergencies such as Hurricane Beryl.
So in respect to Hurricane Beryl and other emergencies that are similar, we look at the road networks, so from disaster preparedness as well as response after the fact, when we look at taking care of our buildings, such as our public buildings, being able to safeguard them prior to doing damage assessments thereafter. The economic side of it. I actually missed the Economics and Statistics Office as well, which is part of our cluster. So we're looking at the cost of damages and being able to assess them properly, being able to provide data and good analysis for decision making, being able to solve problems in real time that affect infrastructure. So it can be technology, it can be with your buildings, it can be with the road networks, or any form of technology or gap that we would need to take care of our people.
Give us a bit of understanding as where the infrastructure cluster is now and where you guys will expect to be within the coming days.
So where we are now is standing by for the storm that is passing towards us still. So for us, we're being ready, vigilant, keeping our energies in the right places, doing our rotations, ensuring that we're up to date, handing over notes, making sure that real-time data is being exchanged, and still not taking the system for granted for what it is, because storms are also, while we can predict them, there's an element that we still have to stay vigilant until it passes us and not be a threat anymore. So we just want to encourage everyone to keep a watch, keep doing your preparations, keep inside, keep indoors until you hear the all clear, so that it makes it safer for everyone that's involved that are also risking their lives to take care of us, to be safe as well.
Are there specific updates that are important for the public that you want to ensure the public is aware of?
Definitely. We want to make sure that we are waiting for that all clear. That's when we should be on the roads. That gives us enough time to assess whatever damages that may have occurred during the times that we're not able to see things, to make sure when people are on the roads properly, they are safe. Our disaster preparedness as well as our emergency response teams, they are taking care of anyone that is in need, taking care of any spills, slippages that could create casualties in the future. So we just want to make sure that we're doing everything safe and with good information and not just taking things for granted. So it's just being able to just be curious and ask the right questions, but not so curious that you're not listening to good information and the right sources to be able to take care of yourselves and your families.
And is there anything that I did not ask you but you do wish to say?
I would want to actually want to thank everyone for their hard work in putting all this together. It takes a lot of efforts, months and even years of planning, that we learn lessons and apply technology. We retrain our staff, we go through and risk our own concerns and our own lives as well, depending on which cluster you fall into. So I just want to thank everyone that puts country first and make sure that everyone has good information and trusted sources that we can depend upon. Important fact is you don't want to take systems for granted just because storms may pass us and nothing happens to Cayman. Not saying that is the case that's happening right now, but we've seen it in the past and people have gotten more relaxed thereafter. So even if we are prepared, we are ready for storms, anything can happen. We want to make sure that we don't take the next system, the next storm, any future storms for granted just because we got lucky in any system that has passed us before. So it's just making sure that we take care of ourselves and we do not take our blessings for granted.
That is Troy Worms, the cluster manager for the infrastructure cluster. We want to thank you so much for joining us for this live update. Just as a reminder that our next live update is at 4 a.m. for weather. So please stay tuned. And then, of course, you can also follow proceedings on CIG TV on cable, Facebook, and the YouTube channel. Also, you can listen live on Radio Cayman for more coverage of Hurricane Beryl. I'm Jevi Ebanks. Thank you for joining us.